Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. It is already February 8th. That's amazing. And not only is it February, we are approaching the mid-February. February 8th, 2023. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. I trust that you are well. The State of the Union address was last night. Yes, we are still trying to make heads or tail what the heck that was all about. And we're going to have some reports on that as the day goes on. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some other stuff. There's lots else to talk about. We talked a little bit about yesterday about the governor of Florida decided to finally strip Disney of their monopoly rights as it concerns the state of Florida and their self-governing um, status in the district, in the Reedy Improvement District. Something that none of the other theme parks have that advantage, and how that's playing out. We'll talk a little bit about that and some other things today here on the Morning Report. Again, go to fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com to check out what's on the Morning Report. And the website, fightbackmediatv.com, a bunch of videos about a bunch of stuff. Some stuff from Rumble, things that have been banned that you might want to be, I bet you that you might want to check out for sure. We'll be back right after these messages. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias? especially here in the Tampa Bay area? Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All right, welcome back to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. It just never stops. It simply never stops. Um, we talked about the balloon, the Chinese spy balloon that went over the entire continental United States this past week and was shot down on Saturday. There are other people who have some ideas about why waiting to shoot down this spy balloon took so long. A GOP senator is also curious. I'm also curious about the timing of this. Senator Tom Cotton, Republican from Arkansas, offered during Fox News Sunday what he thought what the motives were for the balloon getting shot down. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken was supposed to be leaving on Friday for his trip to China, which Cotton described as an already ill-advised trip. Um, he says, I do believe that the administration wanted to salvage the Secretary of State's trip on Friday night as they got through Thursday afternoon, Cotton offered. While the secretary did postpone the trip, the timing on that wasn't to Cotton's liking either. Thankfully, civilians in Montana, in Billings, identified the balloon and blew the whistle on it. And finally, the administration fessed up to the American people, and it took another 12 hours before the Secretary of State canceled what was an already ill-advised trip. Cotton said. Uh, Cotton also offered that this served as a quote trial balloon, pun intended, testing that President Biden's strength and resolve. And unfortunately, the president failed that test, and that's dangerous for the American people. The president was paralyzed for an entire week by a balloon. A balloon. Like countless other Republican office holders, the senator highlighted how weak President Joe Biden is with China, which could now have been even more far-reaching consequential effects. At best, the way the president and his administration handled the balloon can be described as as an embarrassment and involved humiliation. And mentioning as much, Cotton emphasized the problem with limiting the timing of shooting it down. Again, we should have shot this thing down over the Aleutian Islands as opposed to letting it float all across Middle America in its merry way. He insisted to Shannon Breen on the Fox program. As much as anyone would try to claim victory for the United States and how the balloon was shot down, Cotton had a warning with what the Chinese likely came away with. I mean, the idea that we're going to let this go all the way across America, that a spy balloon complete its spy mission before we shoot it down, I'm afraid is an embarrassment to the United States, he said. Not an embarrassment to the Chinese communist government, who are constantly pushing the envelope and constantly probing to see how far they can get away with these maligned actions. And unfortunately, I think they feel they got away with it here. Another noteworthy guest of this week's round of shows included, of course, our Senator Marco Rubio, who said that speaking to Jake Tapper on the State of the Union, the timing involved the timing involved in such a message that the Chinese sent Biden will be giving the State of the Union address on Tuesday night, and the message embedded in this to the world is: we can fly a balloon over airspace of the United States of America, and they won't be able to do anything about it to stop us. Rubio offered, and that's exactly what happened. They were able to fly a spy balloon over the United States of America, and knowing full well that nobody would do anything about it. That's what happened. Senator Rubio, who's a member of the Gang of Eight, y'all remember the whole Gang of Eight, will be briefed on the balloon, was briefed on the balloon, but not until Tuesday at the earliest. Also appeared on the ABC News this week, where he had a warning of his own when he offered host Jonathan Carl what questions he wanted answered. Secondarily, he said, it is really an understanding of, what we're going to do about it in the future, because I don't believe this is the last time we're going to see this sort of thing happen. Again, if you don't think this is coincidental, I think they did it on purpose to send a message to the world that they can enter American airspace and do so without us being able or willing to do anything about it. Yeah. We talked about this. What all this was a big middle finger to us, the United States, and of course to Joe Biden. Joe Biden is obviously compromised. Now, somebody mentioned, and I had a question, and it sort of got explained. People wondered, why don't they just use the satellites? Well, of course they use satellites to spy on us as we use our satellites to spy on them. The difference being that a slow moving balloon can stay over an area of observation for a long time. And obviously resolution is a lot better because it's a darn sight closer when you're talking about something that is, I don't know, in low space orbit, as opposed to something that's 60,000 feet. Now, 60,000 feet or 65,000 feet is pretty far up there, but it's not in low space orbit. So it can be over a target for a long time. It can be over an area of observation for a long time. And of course, because it is much closer, you can easily, very much easily, get much better resolution. And these satellites are in an orbit. So sometimes what they want to look at, they can't look at it, for a number of hours while that orbit, traverses the globe. Where a balloon, it can again stay over an observation target for an extended period of time. So there are reasons why you would use a low tech balloon that would not be as easily, and especially as small as it is, found out. So yeah, and of course, the whole idea of, hey Joe, there you go, it's one for you, buddy. We'll do whatever we want, and you won't do anything about it. Crazy. All right, when we go to a break, we'll be back more of the program right after these messages. So is it okay now, because it was, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy's mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you five?
You see, what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
Well, it happened, and it should, and frankly, it should have happened. After weeks of wondering whether anything would come out of the Representative George Santos, Republican from New York, admitted lies and fabrications. Wow, that was a tough word today. As well as potential legal problems to do with campaign finance. The embattled congressman is under investigation by the House Ethics Committee. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California, confirmed as much to reporters on Tuesday morning. Ethics is moving through, and if ethics finds something, we'll take action, he said. Um, while other members, including other Republicans and fellow New Yorkers, have called for Santos to resign, McCarthy has not been among them. His answer is that is, we'll take action. What appears to be contingent on if the committee finds any wrongdoing. It is in the response being asked for calls about Santos to resign. Newsday, a Long Island outlet, noted that the Ethics Committee members have been hesitant to speak about the investigation, and that it came after the constituents from Santos district, which includes parts of Long Island, Queens, traveled to the Capitol to demand action. Now, here's part of the stupid in this. Y'all, yes, he lied to you, but you didn't do you didn't do the investigation. As a matter of fact, Newsday, a Long Island paper, should have done their investigative work and found this dude out early. And now the constituency are at Congress's door saying, "Yeah, we picked him, but you should, but we didn't know. Y'all should do something about it." I'm torn here. My gut is too bad. That's the pig you have. What you need to do is when in 18 months, and you'll start, and people will start campaigning way before that, replace him. Republicans, you got your work cut out for you, boy. Y'all y'all put your foot in this one. Replace him. He's already stepped down from all the committees. He put himself in a lame duck position pretty much day one. And that's kind of a shame. But the mechanism by which to replace him is already in place. It's called the ballot box. Get rid of him. Doesn't require anything. Doesn't require a special election. Now, no, you're just going to have to eat that crap sandwich for another 18 months or so. Boy. Yeah, I know it's not tasty and it smells bad, but my gut is that you should have to eat that crab sandwich called Santos. And because now he's not serving in any committee, he's just a vote. That is about as good as it's going to get. And if the ethics committee finds that there's been wrongdoing, and he gets I don't know, what do they call that? Sanctioned, censured. You're still going to have to eat that crab sandwich until it's time to replace him. And I think that's what should happen. Tell me in the comments what you think should happen to this guy. We'll be back right after these messages. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. Um, but you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those one of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. Hey, my name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. I trust that you are doing well on this Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, February the 8th. Yes, February the 8th. 2023 in the year of our Lord. Well, apparently, I am considering myself as one of the lucky ones. I did not see singer-songwriter Sam Smith's performance with biological male Kim Petras on the 65th annual Grammy Awards on Sunday night. Sam and Petras performed their song Unholy, and the performance lived up to his name. Bathed in red light, Smith donned a hat with the devil horns, while Petras was trapped in a cage. Did Smith, whose pronouns are they them, in 2019, but rules of grammar still apply here, gets a production design idea from Joe Biden's Angry Unity speech. Remember in Independence Hall, all the red lighting? Well, possibly. But even before performing, Smith tweeted a photo of a rehearsal saying this is going to be, quote, special, followed up with the tongue emoji because, of course, pretty normal considering, the source. But then the official CBS account replied to Smith saying that the network was, quote, ready to worship. Seriously. What the literal hell was this? Worship. That preview, given the performance that followed with Smith wearing a hat with devil horns that portrays locked in a cage, raised questions about whom or what exactly the most watched TV network in America 2021 was ready to worship on Sunday night. Sure, the performance got a rise out of what most would consider sensible people, but it's nothing new. In fact, Dana Loesch pointed out that it's more lazy than distasteful for performers to try to be provocative and edgy by doing what has already been done. As you know, as Town Hall reported back in 2021, Lil Nas X already did the whole trip to hell to visit Satan thing. In order to be quote brave or considered counterculture, one has to do something that is actually counter to the current culture. Dana Loesch tweeted this. I'm so tired of the broke, cliched, offend the Christian shtick. It's the last refuge for the talentless hacks propped up by this increasingly irreverent labels as avatars for openly produced pop diarrhea. That's pretty good, Dana. So unsurprisingly, the Record Academy honored Smith and Petraeus for Unholy and then gleefully singled their virtue for making, quote, history. Congratulations to Kim Petraeus and Sam Smith on their Grammy win. I'm the first transgender woman to win this award. All right, here's the deal. The deal is this. Um, these folks uh, run on attention. Their whole life runs on attention. The worst thing that can happen is that people forget who they are, or people that don't that they don't get recognized on the street, that they don't get calls to do shows, they don't get call people don't show up at their concerts. That's the worst thing that can happen. People don't stream their music. It's the worst thing that can happen. I don't call for boycotts because I think that boycotts normally run against rules for radicals. One of the rules I told you guys, I keep this book handy all the time because this is the left's playbook. That's why I keep it handy all the time. One of the tactics in the book is that you can't keep doing stuff that your folks think are a drag because it becomes a drag. You can't do it. Boycotts become a drag. But my culture, the culture that I subscribe to, that I live with, doesn't listen to Sam Smith or this other dude. And my thought is that you can make sure that your children don't too. You don't have to. Unfortunately, it means that I don't get to watch the Grammys anymore. I don't get to see Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago and Michael Jackson and Miles Davis and Sonny Rollins on the Grammys. Ella Fitzgerald, Tony Bennett on the Grammys anymore because the Grammys has what they had on Sunday. So I don't get to watch it anymore. It's just not something that I'm going to put into my spirit. I'm not going to put it in my eyeballs. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see Lil Nas. I don't need to see it. And it's amazing that there are conservative pundits out there who are acting all surprised and shocked. These people have been pushing satanic messages for years in the pop culture, and a lot of the very same conservative pundits have been have been just ignoring and poo-pooing the whole idea that this is a culture war and that we should be involved in this culture war. And they were hell bent on making it political and keeping it political when politics is thank you, Andrew Breitbart, is downstream of the culture. It's just always been about culture, always. And it is that's where we need to put our emphasis. I'm neither shocked or surprised. I'm hardly dismayed, even. I'm getting to the point where I don't really care because I think that in order to keep these things from happening, we have to do something else that doesn't have anything to do with Sam Smith or Petraeus or whatever his name is. The changes that we have to make to the culture, we have to make in ourselves and in our own communities because we're never going to change them. We're not going to get to starve them out, but we go a long way by not giving them the attention that they crave. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.